G'day Tiger fans and welcome to Richmond's live official podcast Talking Tigers. Well, it's been a tough few days for all Tiger fans, but we have to push on and we will. It's a big couple of weeks ahead for the TT team. We are off to the Olympics in Rio. We cannot wait to get on that plane in a couple of days' time. On field, it's a big Friday night clash against the Pies, and no better way to get back on track than beating the old enemy. We wish the boys all the best Friday night. Greeners, JB, welcome. And I just want to say thank you to my fill-in last week, Brenton Manfred Mann. He did a sterling job. Thanks, Manfred. He'll be in shortly with his VFL report. But how are we, guys?
Good to see you back, Richard.
Yeah, no, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me back.
No.
I was worried. I did listen to the show last week. And
you did a pretty good
so
job,
you shouldn't have been worried then.
He was pretty solid, Manfred, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm torn between being so excited, jumping out of my skin about, going to Rio, obviously in a couple of days, but obviously then tempered by the fact that it was just such a devastating loss on the weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It was hard to watch, actually. Yeah, it was hard to watch.
Arguably the worst I reckon I've ever seen in 51 years.
Is that right?
Oh, it's right up there.
I
can't think of something worse.
You can't sugarcoat it. It
was disastrous.
It wasn't a good game at all. The players just look really devoid of confidence at the moment.
Yeah, and I just feel for all our supporters. Obviously, they expected a lot more. You know? And I mean, you just expect just effort and and all that, and it just didn't seem to be there on for whatever reason. It just didn't seem to be there on Saturday. So.
It was perfect conditions, fast track.
He kicked 3 goals.
GWS rightfully put us away early, and I mean, it was just never in it. And the fans who did come down from Sydney or came up from Melbourne, and the ones in ACT who have been waiting forever to see a game.
Of support there too.
Yeah, absolutely, and for them to have to endure the performances, they're the ones you really feel for, absolutely.
Well, as you said...
It's a big month ahead.
Oh, it's a big month ahead, starting with Friday night against the arch enemy.
And it's Friday night footy, it's the big stage.
We just need to respond.
And it needs to be a big response.
A really big response.
Doesn't need to be a win, but it's just got to be...
It needs to be a significantly improved performance on the last 2 weeks, really. Because when you put up a performance like you did in the last quarter against Hawthorn, and Dimmer puts it on the players and described it as shameful, you expect a response the next week, and it was anything but.
Yeah. Well, let's hope there's a response this Friday
Anyway,
night.
We're off. Will we get to see it? Will we get to see it in Rio?
I think
I think in the village they'll have a...
I've got the AFL live pass on my laptop, so...
Just make sure the TVs are secure in the village.
Where are we? We're staying...
A few tea leaves wandering around there, aren't there?
We're not staying near the village, though. We're staying down on Ipanema.
Yeah. We could have gone with the
I might just head up to the village occasionally.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Sconners will.
Where are we? We're broadcasting from Ipanema,
from the beach. Okay, right.
Yeah, that's the song we could have gone with, the girl from Ipanema, but maybe next week we go with that.
Well, we'll probably use that over there. Now, it's been confirmed. Our old mate's going to come and say g'day.
Who?
Romario.
Oh, is that right?
Romario's going to come and say g'day.
Oh, tremendous.
He's looking forward to the soccer there.
Yeah. Is Fozzie there?
Fozzie's not coming.
Not Olympic.
It's not. It's not the World Cup soccer. It's the Olympics.
Okay.
But Romario is. He's really keen to have a chat to us.
Just can't wait. Anyway. I don't want to bore people with talk about it because we need to focus on the footy, but it's going to be exciting next week, isn't it?
Well, just rest assured, bring your Vuvuzela.
Have you had your shots?
I had my shots. Yeah. I got my thongs packed. Yep.
You got to wear a thong at the beach?
Flip-flops.
Oh, sorry. Jeez, that was going to... The thought of that.
No. That won't be happening. Hey, 150 games for Dustin Martin this week.
Great achievement. Obviously qualifies for life membership of the club, and he's a
resilient player, isn't he?
He's a resilient player, and he's a damn good player.
Yeah,
isn't he?
Where do you rate him, Tone? You've seen a lot of the great midfielders come through this club.
Yeah, he's right up there. The thing is that I still reckon he's scratching the surface of what he's capable of. As good a season as he's had, and we've discussed this many times. He's right in Brownlow contention. Obviously, Paddy Dangerfield's the red hot favourite, but he will poll extremely well and go close, I reckon. So it's been his best season, but and you'd expect that he would win the Jack Dyer medal, his first one. Yeah. But I think there's another level that he can go to. I think by the time he finishes his career, he will be one of the club's all-time greats. I have no doubt about that. No doubt. I mean, just everything he can do.
He's been consistent, though, hasn't he?
Yeah. And we've seen in previous years, obviously, his goal kicking, his one-on-one ability inside 50 is second to none. He'd be the best in the comp at doing that.
But I think that's the next layer for him.
Yeah.
To spend a little bit more time forward.
Well, he's had to, out of necessity, go into the midfield this year too.
Yeah.
And he's given us great drive, but we've probably missed him up forward too.
And maybe not quite as many touches, but forward half of the ground. I think that could be a lot more damaging. Look at Dangerfield. He's kicked 4 goals 3 weeks ago in Perth. He kicked 3 goals again Friday night. And he's the benchmark, Patrick Dangerfield.
Yeah, he is. Anyway.
And if you can kick 2-3 goals as a midfielder.
Yeah. But I've actually got a little bit of info on him in my tidbits.
Really?
Yeah, I could go with that now.
No, save it.
No, save it.
Well, you've slashed my club news in half by going with it off the top, but that's all right.
What's that?
I was going to say it's Dusty's 150.
Oh, sorry.
But it is a measure of Dustin, just how much the fans love him as well.
Yeah,
they do.
I mean, you would have seen it in your
He's
day,
the
Richo,
most
but
popular player at
they just love him. And every training session, they just love when he's there.
And he's pretty giving of his time as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say this, but could he end up being the greatest number 4 in the club's history?
Oh, gee.
That's
your boy.
Royce is the greatest ever.
You,
but he'll be up there.
And
Rainsy Warwick was a pretty good player, and Craig Lambert was a pretty good player. Matty Rogers, all very good players. But I reckon Dusty will be, by the end of his career, probably number 2 to Royce in the number 4.
And another player that's playing pretty well, I just have to mention Alex Rance. He got 8 votes in the Coaches Association votes.
Which is extraordinary.
With Tom Scully got 8 as well. But he is an unbelievable player, Alex Rance.
Yeah, he is the greatest defender I've ever seen at Richmond and one of the all-time greats of the game. Yeah. Certainly by the time he finished, he'd be rated as that.
I rated Darren Gasper as the best defender I'd seen in my time at Richmond, but I think Rance has gone past him. Gas was a very good player.
Very, very good player.
Gas was a 2-time All-Australian, like Rancey. Rancey will probably be again this year, you would assume.
Yeah.
But I think he's gone past Gas.
Did you see how many intercept possessions he had on the weekend?
He had 17.
17. Yeah. So that's the second most this season,
6th
by
most
any
in history,
and the 6th most since stats were taken in history. And that is colossal.
And his form when we don't win says a lot about his mindset.
Had he not been out there on Saturday, it's fair to say it might have been a 25-goal.
It feels like we've said that a few times this year already.
That's true.
You'd hate to think what would have happened if Rancey wasn't out there. Saturday was definitely...
Yeah, he's a ripper.
Another one of those.
He's an absolute champion. Hey, you want to give the Ghost a mention, Jimmy Jess?
Yeah, well, the Ghost, of course, we've got 3 more homecoming heroes for the year.
Oh, no.
Of course. And
you know what you've done.
What?
You've just taken the other half of JV's club news.
Oh no! Have you got anything?
No, I'll get on the phone and I'll see what I can do.
We'll let JV go into the Ghost. Jimmy.
No, go.
We'll bring it forward. Oh, here it is.
Wow, that's how good it is. It's had to come off the top of the show.
Yep. Hey, you might be aware that the Ghost, Jim Jess, is
Jimmy Jess.
He's the homecoming hero for this Friday night's home game against Collingwood.
How good is that?
So, look out for that.
I'd love him to launch a big torpedo.
Jeez, he was a good player, the Ghost.
I remember watching him when he played at Burnley after he left Richmond.
That's right.
He was a fly-in player. Mark Lee was coach and Jimmy Jess played. And he used to launch some torpedoes from full back where he was playing.
He kicked a goal at MCG one day against Footscray, as they were known back then. Yeah. It was with a wet ball. It was a wet day. Yeah. He was kicking to the city end. I reckon he was about 85 metres out, and it's gone through post high. He was an unbelievable player.
He could launch.
223 games, 175 goals.
Yeah.
And just the ultimate swing man. So he played predominantly centre half back,
but he could play centre.
But he played centre half forward, so he kicked a lot of goals. So he was centre half forward in the 1980 grand final, and just mobile, and just an absolute cult figure. Arguably, apart from Richo, the most popular player here in the last 30 years or so. Real cult figure.
He's one of my favourites.
And a really smart, really clever football person.
Is that it for the club news then? Have you got anything else?
Well, if we're going to go with it now, then the Jack Dyer medal goes on sale this week. Tickets to that.
The medal does?
What? The evening.
The function.
Tickets to the function. Yeah. So if you register your details now via richmondfc.com.au/JDM, you could have access to the tickets as early as tomorrow. And the remaining tickets go on sale to the public on Friday. So that's richmondfc.com.au/JDM.
Well, that's going to be a huge night. Because history will be made that night.
Absolutely.
You'd think, if Dusty wins. And if he doesn't, it probably Rancey back to back.
So. All right, unbelievable.
So that's it. Club news.
Club news, done.
Beauty. What's going on, Sconce? There it is.
There it is.
Tony Baba. Baba.
Anyway, talking about Jimmy Jess and 1980 grand final and the demolition of Collingwood.
Yeah.
Given that we're playing them on Friday night, wouldn't it be great?
Did we get the who the club sponsor was last week in the quiz?
No.
No.
Do you want me to mention that now?
Well, you can if you want.
Yeah.
No one rang for the quiz last
No,
week.
well, that's because you weren't here.
You weren't
so-
here.
Right.
That's
They-
why. No.
I don't think anyone
I think
listens to it.
people tuned out when you weren't here,
Right.
which is a shame because I missed the best show that we've ever had.
Right, well,
Anyway.
what have you got then? What's your question this week?
It was actually Tetley was the sponsor back
Yeah,
then in
that's right.
1980. Well, it's 1980 related again.
Yep.
Because we just are dwelling on 1980 because it was a great year and
Well, we sort of need to, don't we?
we need to. We do.
So what is it? What's your question?
Okay, the question is, how many goals did David Cloak kick for Richmond
In the 1980
in
grand
the
final.
1980 grand
Great.
final demolition of what was then his next club, Collingwood?
Yep, okay.
How many goals did Cloakey kick in the 80 grand final?
Give us a call. 9426 4423. How many goals did David Cloak kick in the 1980 grand final? You can also get involved with the show, hashtag Talking Tigers. So get on the phone, give us a call, and hopefully we can send out a TTT.
Excellent.
You've got mail.
Oh, we'll go straight to the
Yes.
emails now. We've had a couple in during the week. The first one was from Stuart McLaughlin. He's
Stewie?
Maga?
Stewie. Hi, JB, Richo and Greeners. Just watched the lowest score Richmond team has kicked since 1961. Obviously, the boys...
Don't go into that too much. It's in the tidbits too. so
Obviously, the
it's-
boys took last week's retro round literally. As a
very good.
long-time supporter, it's our darkest hour, but I know I'll be listening again next week, which is great. He reckons, please get the boys to try a bit harder and maybe even have a pie night and watch the aforementioned 1980 grand final.
I think the 1980 grand final would do the trick, I reckon. I reckon it's just an
How
inspiration.
many times have you watched it?
Watch it every.
Fair
I've
bit.
watched it every night of. I reckon once a week all year so far.
Have you?
Well, I get to see us win.
Yeah.
So thanks for that one, Stu. And this email's come in for you, Richo.
Yeah,
It's,
righto.
Hi, Richo. This is from Joe Chen.
Oh, Joey.
As the face of the Hotel Brighton, I ask if you could please ask them, with your massive influence, to bring back the 2-for-1 Monday deal.
What was that?
Oh, well,
was
you
it?
can
2 for
get
1?
2 for 1. Oh, 2 meals for the price of one.
Oh, okay. Why aren't you doing it?
Well, they've bought in a burger night instead.
Oh.
That sounds even
Yeah.
better, I
Yeah.
reckon.
So Monday's
okay.
now
Joe,
burger
get down
night.
to the burger
Okay.
night.
Yeah,
Do you-
Joe,
what other-
I'm sorry that's gone, but give the burger night a try.
Do you have a
mate.
steak?
It'll
Have
be
you got a steak night there as well?
good. Night,
Just a
yeah,
burger night.
Wednesday they
Is
do
Wednesday steak night?
Yeah.
And that, of course, is
Isn't it?
the Hotel Brighton.
Hotel Brighton, yeah.
Yeah,
Get down,
yeah,
get
okay.
down.
And the last email we got in, it's a bit of a long one. It's from Anthony Dilber,
Yeah.
but
Well,
given the
just
time,
sort of
I think we'll
Dilbs,
go with it.
Dilbs, yeah.
Because hello, JB, Greeners and Richo. First-time writer, long-time listener, which we love.
Mm.
Love the podcast and respect the positive outlook you guys always try and communicate to
Well,
our Tiger community and broader fan
Well,
base.
we have to.
Well, there's no
don't
other
we?
way to be.
Exactly.
Because we'd get sacked if we actually,
Yeah.
were negative, wouldn't we?
No, we don't want to be.
Like-
No. Well, if you can't be. You got to try and be upbeat.
It's fair to say that our club has copped its fair share of abuse this season, some of it warranted, some of it not so much. After the performance on the weekend, the abuse and supposed constructive criticism has come full circle again from respective media outlets, the general public, and unfortunately, even some of our own. We're getting smashed from pillar to post, not only on field, but off field as well. Whether it's who we should be trading, who should be the coach, or whether there needs to be a change to the board, everyone's an expert, it seems. So Anthony goes on to say, now is as good a time as any to really get behind the club as a supporter base and make a statement to the competition. Whether you believe in the direction of the club is going or not, at the end of the day, we're all supporters of this great club. We now have a Friday night home game against Collingwood, a long-time rival who are in a similar position to us. So the whole Richmond community will be, the whole football community will be watching the game. So he implores as many Tiger supporters to get down to the MCG Friday night and, in a show of solidarity, get behind the team.
That is a really, really good
Yeah.
memo. And, and he's absolutely spot on, because at the end of the day, whatever happens, we are Richmond supporters.
You gotta
So
stick.
we are not going to turn, whatever happens, because it's in our blood.
Yeah.
And we care.
Good email, that one. We've got a caller on the line. It's Michael from Sydney. G'day, Michael. How you going?
I'm very good, Richard.
How you feeling, mate? Did you get to Canberra on the weekend?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, right.
You wouldn't
Anyway.
be feeling that good then. Mate, we'll try and cheer you up here and get you a TTT.
Now,
Greeners?
Michael, how many goals did David Cloak kick for the Tigers in the 1980 demolition of Collingwood?
He kicked a big 6 goal.
He did kick half a dozen. Yeah, very good.
Did
yeah.
you go to the game, Michael, or can you remember it vividly?
Oh, I can certainly remember it vividly.
excellent,
And,
yeah.
wasn't there though, but
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty powerful performance that day. Obviously, KB kicked one more, kicked 7 KB.
It's not Mick G from Sydney, is it?
no, it's not.
Oh, okay. We'll get
Hey,
to him
Michael,
later.
thanks for listening, mate. We really appreciate it. Give JB an email, talkingtigers@richmondfc.com.au with your address and size, mate, and we'll get that tea off to you.
Okay, good one. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Michael.
Cheers.
He just sounded over the moon, Michael, didn't he?
Oh, he's flat.
He's
We're all
flat. 'cause- anyway,
We're all
speaking
flat.
of another Michael,
Yeah.
we got a tweet in during the week.
Yeah, okay.
A couple of tweets. Scon's just
Or not.
not quite here today, is he?
He's
working the face.
he's working the room.
Yeah, I'll
he's
tell
working
you,
the room.
when
isn't he?
Scones isn't performing, things are down.
no.
We need to give a shout out to Mick G
Yeah.
and his partner Ashley, who travelled down from Sydney, and he
Right.
was donning the TTT at
Is that
Canberra.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
gutsy
So he sent
effort.
us in a tweet.
Yeah,
and
hopefully he had a
unfortunately,
jacket to put over it by the end of the game.
the team or the game didn't go to schedule for Mick.
No.
Jez Ford at Rensman 20 tweeted us in during the week. He's shown a picture that
He's in Singapore.
He's in
Is that
Singapore,
right?
taking a picture of a sign that looks like tidbits for you.
Oh, look, it
They're
should be,
greeners.
Should be Tone's
It's a-
Tidbits World.
It's a shop in Singapore that's
Yep.
called Tidbits World.
Tidbits.
Correct. And he reckons the store is paying homage to Talking Tiger's most pathetic segment. I don't know. I
you
don't
find
think
that
I
amusing,
agree
do
with
you?
that.
It's not a great
You
segment.
find that amusing, do you?
It's not a great
It's
segment.
not quite club
Anyway.
news.
I'll have some good ones from Rio.
Our man Johnny P's written in using hashtag Talking Tiger saying,
Johnny P.
you know it's a bad loss when the opposition would have even won if they only kicked points.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Rub it in.
At Tigerland Tone,
Always positive.
Always
Tigerland
positive.
Tone.
That's not me, incidentally.
he's gone with goals for players under 6 foot this season.
Yeah.
Betts, Wingard, Cyril, and Thomas are the top 4. Sam Lloyd is
He's had
in
a
5th
solid
position.
29 goals, didn't
30.
30.
30 now. Yeah.
Yep. David Millet's tweeted in saying without Alex Rance,
Yep.
Yeah.
goodness knows what would have been on the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our friend Jess Benson has tweeted in using hashtag Talking Tiger saying the only thing worse than supporting Richmond right now is if we turn our backs on them.
No, good call,
And
Jeff.
we'll
Yeah,
always
that's right.
support them.
And we will always.
And Tim Boots has tweeted in saying good luck keeping things up vibe today, which we're trying to
We're
do.
trying.
Yeah.
Maybe forget about the votes and just let Greeners run with gags for the whole show.
Oh, I've
Oh,
got a few
no.
more gags. I've got some
That'd
good
be
gags
fantastic.
today.
Have you got them checked off, though?
Yeah. No.
No. All
No.
right. Okay, there's some tweets. Now, Greeners, I officially cannot get stuck into the Chief today.
No, I agree.
I can't do it.
I think with everything that's going on,
just
don't
cannot
think
do it. So
I don't think it's too wise to add to
I
anything
can't.
else.
He's got too much on his plate at the moment, obviously.
Yep.
Brendan, he's obviously been under the pump and having to do media interviews and the like, and it's a tough place to be when you're CEO and you need to answer the hard questions. So I'm just supporting Brendan. He's done a great job since he took over as CEO of this club, and I really hope that things turn around as much for all the supporters, but for him and everyone involved. But he did do one thing up in Canberra. He did. He presented Adam Marcon with his first
did.
Richmond jumper.
Yeah. He was wearing a jumper that
He had his father's Don Gale's jumper on, I think. It was
Manfred wouldn't have worn it, mate. That's how bad it was.
If Manfred wouldn't wear
Manfred
it,
would not have worn it.
it was a terrible jumper, Chief.
I
So
wouldn't
that's
have worn it fruit picking, to be
that's
honest
the
with you,
only
mate.
thing that I can get into him about this week. So
Yeah.
good luck, Chief. We're right behind you, mate.
Given we've already gone with the club news sting,
You must have something.
I'm just going to have to go through with the injury list.
Oh, okay. All right. I still reckon we need a sting at some stage for the injury list.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll look
Well,
into it.
Manfred's just walked in,
Okay,
actually.
we'll go through
so-
quickly. You would have seen yesterday Jake Batchelor is out for the rest of the season having shoulder surgery last Friday, so he'll miss about 16 weeks and be ready for a pre-season. Ben Lennon is going to face a fitness test this week along with Shane Edwards and Ben Griffiths.
I'd love to see Ben Lennon play 3 or
correct.
4 games.
Yeah.
So those 3 will be in contention for AFL or VFL duties. And good news is Corey Ellis is available this week to play.
Well,
Oh,
it
is
would
he?
be good to see him for a couple at AFL level at
He'll
least.
have to have a
before
run
end
in
of
the
season.
VFL,
Yeah,
though,
but if he gets a couple
Yeah.
more AFL games, then
Yeah.
he'd be good. Yeah.
Oh, here he is.
Here he is.
Yes, it's that time of the week again where we check out what happened in the VFL on the weekend, and we welcome Brenton Mann into the studio. Manny, I've got to thank you too for filling in last week. I was a little bit concerned I mightn't get my job back today, but
He was very
you were
good.
pretty good, mate. You were very good.
Thank you, Richo. Just warming your seat, mate. Just warming your seat. I'm sure you pushed me out of the way this morning just to get in here, just to make
the
sure
way,
I'm sitting
the
down.
way I'm feeling at the moment, I'm just about ready to hand it over.
Come on,
anyway.
Liv, mate. Liv.
I'm
Now, what's
just
going on
chuckling.
with the song? I thought we
That's,
listened to 3MP or Magic.
That's Little
I
River
love
Band
Johnny
and Johnny
Farnham.
Farnham.
Yeah.
Little
No,
River
no,
Band.
Whispering Jack.
No,
He
Little
was
River
Johnny.
Band.
He was Johnny Farnham in the old days when he did Sadie, which was when he was good. And
Right.
I like listening to him.
I don't mind that little
What's wrong with
riverbed.
that?
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
Anyway,
Tom.
that's all right. No, it's not my choice. It's all
Anyway,
right.
Too
well, should
contemporary.
we talk about the footy or not?
Well, we need to talk about the VFL because that was the bright light of the weekend for Tiger fans.
Bit of Groundhog Day down at Punt Road Oval, wasn't
Groundhog
it? Tone?
Day, it
With,
was indeed,
A
yes.
final quarter onslaught to get us over the line
Yes.
with 7 goals to zip against Frankston with
Wow.
a 31-point win.
So in the last 2 weeks, in the last quarter, what has the VFL Tigers, what have we kicked?
We've kicked 15 goals, 9.
Just a little bit more what the AFL team's done in the last couple of weeks
Just,
in the last
just-
quarter.
So
It's fair to say. Yeah.
What's going on at three-quarter time? What's
He's a genius.
Sly is
Sly.
inspirational.
He is inspirational.
He made a couple of moves against Box Hill, like
Yeah.
pull into the middle, and
Yeah.
Ivan Marriage got on top. But on the weekend, it was Ivan Soldo because Ivan
Big
Marriage
Soldo.
was
Wow.
unfortunately couldn't finish the game with his
Okay.
back injury.
Right.
So he'll be pushing to get up for this week. And
Okay.
Ivan Soldo was challenged by the coaching staff for
Yeah.
three-quarter time, and he delivered. He had 6 hit-outs to advantage. Really gave us an ascendancy in the middle, and it allowed us to play the game in our half. Also kicked the goal to ice the game too.
So his development's coming on pretty nicely.
Yeah, he had 26 hit-outs on the weekend. As I said, kicked the goal, 4 tackles. But
Okay.
just that last quarter, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he had-
Along with Andrew Moore as well.
Yeah, and Maury was the
Yeah.
man, wasn't he, in the middle?
He was absolutely outstanding. He had 37 disposals, 11 clearances, 20 contested possessions. Over the last month, he's averaging 28 touches, 8 clearances, 6 tackles. So he can't do anything more to gain another AFL
Very
chance.
good, very
Yeah,
good.
so he'll
Anything
be on the
more?
cusp this week, I reckon.
Okay, who else might be pressing for selection this week?
Nathan Broad played his best game for the club, the best game I've seen him play at either AFL or VFL level. He had 26 touches, but it was more of his intercept marking. He had 6 for the day and really repelled a lot of Frankston's forays forward. He was our best defender over
And
the
so-
4 quarters.
And taking the game
He
on?
took the game on. It was a scrappy game for the first 3 quarters, but he was the one really taking the game on, run and carry through the midfield.
Guys like Nathan Broad, they must really enjoy picking Alex Rance's head about how to intercept mark because he's unbelievable, Rance. They should go and talk to him if they want to do it. Looks like Broady may have.
Fantastic. Broad's positioning as well, he would have talked to Alex Rance, he just said about that. His positioning one-on-one, but also your chop-out marks as well was fantastic. His context work was good as well.
How did the On the Buses boy go?
On the buses, boy was good again. He had 22
Butler,
touches.
I'll get you, Butler.
You love doing that, Tony.
You love that one.
Yeah, I
You're a
do.
man that just loves laughing at your own jokes.
I
don't you?
do.
He
I
enjoys
do.
his own work, Tone.
6
How'd he
tackles,
go?
22
Yeah.
touches, 13 contested possessions, and he is really building a good body of work over the last month, which maybe he might push for a debut possibly later in the year.
Is JB going to contribute anything to this
No,
segment?
look, I've got
He's
something
trying
else.
to.
JB.
But he's trying to.
Let's
Look,
go.
we need a buzzer nearly, don't we? Need a
Look,
buzzer.
I'm very happy to sit back and listen. But
JB.
with Mark going up, I hear Jacob Townsend did all right around the ball and tackling as well.
How did Tony's yellow and black booker go?
Oh,
last week?
okay.
He was
That's
very-
fair enough.
that's why I
Right.
brought it up.
Not my fault.
He was
It's
very
not my
good.
fault. It's
He
not
was-
my fault if he's not selected.
He was very good, Tony. It was 24
Good.
touches, 10 tackles more importantly.
There you go.
And his work around the contest was fantastic,
I'll
especially
claim
in the
that.
last quarter. You'll claim
I'll
that.
claim
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What about my boy, Cholly? How's Cholly going?
Cholly is developing nicely. He's been down back for probably the last 6 to 8 weeks, and they're really trying to develop him down there and make him in. They see him as a natural backman. So, but unfortunately, Frankston have a lot of punitive forwards, we'll call them. Punitive forwards, short forwards,
Right.
Richard.
I know what that means. Don't you?
Hang on a minute.
Tell you what, Manfred, you have one week in the chair and you carry on like a pork chop.
You gave me a look. You had a look in your eye.
You yourself said that you weren't big at high school. You weren't. It wasn't.
That
You weren't
wasn't my forte.
scholastically
No, it wasn't.
bright.
No, what? No, that's wrong. I was bright, I just couldn't be bothered. All right.
You're lazy.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, Richard. They had a lot of small forwards,
Yeah.
and especially
Paul
Ben.
Puopolo types. Is that what you're
Paul
saying?
Puopolo types, yes.
Yeah.
So one was Ben Cavara, who was shut out of the game, which is fantastic by Dan Caulfield. But yeah, Chol struggled for a matchup down there, so they pushed him forward where
right.
he offered a few good contests, a few strong marks and tackles, but he's developing every week.
And what do we got next week? What do we got?
We're off to Icon Park this
Sorry,
week.
JB.
Icon Park.
As
Would
we
that,
take
would
on
that be
Northland
the
Blues.
old Princess Park? Is it?
Park, Busy Park, Optus Oval.
Oval.
Yep,
Or,
I don't know how many it's
MC Hammer Park, wasn't it?
MC Labour.
MC Labour.
MC
See how much
whatever
Park.
it was.
So 2 p.m. this Saturday as we take on Northern Blues, and we try to go 3 wins in a row.
Yes.
And mate, I didn't ask you, why did you play the Little River Band? What was the because of the retro?
This time we're playing to win, but Swansea just didn't let that.
Ah,
Swansea
right.
couldn't
Yeah,
let
yeah,
it play
yeah.
a little
This
bit
time
more.
we're playing
Are we
to
giving Sconzi a clip too?
No.
He got ahead of himself. hasn't
Oh,
he?
wow. No, we're only joking, mate. Comprehensive as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys.
Good on you, mate.
Good work.
Well, Tone, if you have a deposit of $5,000 and you can save $15 a day, Caden can kickstart you into your own one-bedroom apartment. You can move out of home, mate.
Oh, I'm interested.
It's not just any apartment either. It's one with its own pool, gym and rooftop cinema. It's a place to call your own, just 6 Ks from the CBD, just up the road, with excellent transport options, great coffee and a new lifestyle. Kickstart all this with a call or visit Caden Displays in Abbotsford and Moonee Ponds. Get down there, Tone.
I will be getting down there. Don't worry about that.
Okay, conditions apply. So go online to cadenkickstart.com.au for all the details. All right, boys. We've sort of looked at the game, haven't we?
Yeah,
But we've got to do some votes. We do need to do some votes. And
Yep.
Manfred did my votes last week, and he didn't give Dustin Martin a vote.
Oh, he was just channeling Sellers.
What is he thinking?
Well, he's channeling Sellers.
He's trying to be controversial now,
He
Manfred.
is. He's a try-hard.
It's good for his following.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, he's brand.
Yeah.
He's brand.
His brand is
brand
burgeoning.
So, who'd you give the votes to this week, JB?
No surprise, Alex Rance. Unbelievable performance in a team that got done by 88 points, and I gave him 3 votes. 2 votes I gave to Jack Rewald. Being at the game, I thought there's not much more he could have done from his own accord, and kept presenting. Was our only multiple goal kicker, and that's why I gave him 2 votes. And 1 vote I gave to Jaden Short. The article you wrote yesterday, Greeners, I thought hit the nail on the head. So that's all I've got.
Good stuff, Tone.
If I could have given all 6 to Rancy, I would have.
You would have.
I gave him 3, obviously 2.
Hey, just not very often when you get beaten by 80, 90 points that a player from the losing team gets 8 votes in the Coaches
It'll
Association.
be interesting to see on Brownlow night, won't it, if he gets the 3 on Brownlow night?
Well,
Very
defenders
interesting.
don't get a lot of votes,
No,
do
they
they?
don't, but anyway.
Yeah.
So 3 to Rance, 2 to Jack Rewalt for all the reasons that JB mentioned, and 1 to Short. Yeah, I wrote that piece on Shorty yesterday. He's actually coming along really well because he was actually dropped a couple of times early in the year when he was playing as a small forward.
Yeah.
He's reinvented himself, I suppose, as a small back, and offers rebound, uses it really well, and he's getting a fair bit of it too. So.
And these are the positives you need to look at.
Exactly.
For the last month of the year, I gave 3 to Rancy. Clearly the best player for Richmond, if not the best player on the ground. He is an absolute champion, Alex Rance, and he gives everything he has. I gave 2 to Dusty. It wasn't his greatest game of the year, but I think with Manfred leaving him out of the votes last week, I had to sort of compensate.
That's a fair point.
That's not good enough, Manfred. When I give you control of my votes and you leave out Dustin Martin, not good enough. So I gave him 2, and I gave 1 to Shorty as well for all the reasons you guys stated. Good to see him developing at a pretty good rate of knots down there in that back half. The ball's down there a bit at the moment, mind you.
Yes.
Leaderboard, 88 to Dustin Martin, 53 Trent Cotchin. Dusty's home and hosed.
So you're saying he can't be beaten?
I don't think he can be beaten, Dusty. He's going to win the TT Player of the Year.
With one leg in the air.
I'm sure he's absolutely pumped about winning the TT
What is the,
Player.
have we worked it
Just
out?
the honour.
Oh, the honour.
The honour.
Oh, isn't he going to have lunch with us at Hotel Brighton?
Yeah, he might.
Burger night.
I'm tipping he probably.
Burger night.
I'm tipping he'll probably decline our invitation, Dusty. He's got other things to do.
Well, it's not done yet.
45 to Alex Rance. Jack 31, and it is done. You can't be beaten.
Well, Kochi can get
4
9.
nines.
You
no,
tried to work
And he
out the
could pip him
maths,
by-
right, of how many players you'd played with on Channel 7 in your
mucked
career,
it up.
Richmond. So you are no maths expert.
Yeah, okay. So Dusty should win. is
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
should.
saying.
He needs
we?
one more vote. And he's
Yeah.
Is that right? One more would make it
Well,
36.
36.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, well done.
fine.
I'm going to give him 1
Yeah.
just to make sure he gets over the line then.
Oh.
This is... I reckon in all the years we've been doing TT now, Tone,
Yeah.
I reckon this is the best idea you've ever come up with, the yellow and black
Well, it's
specials.
the only one.
How good is it?
Nah, it's magnificent, and
Yeah.
it's just going. I was going so well in the year,
Yeah.
but then a
You've
few
hit the
selection.
wall.
Well,
You've tailed
players,
right off,
players
haven't
have
you?
let me down, and now the selectors have let me down.
Don't blame everyone
Well,
else.
the selectors have let me down. I went with Jacob Townsend last week to come in against his old side,
Yeah.
and he might have had a fair crack too. He
Yeah.
would have been pretty handy, but they didn't select him.
So it's
So
not-
he played really well in the VFL. It's not my
You
fault.
got it wrong, mate.
No,
That's another one.
it's not right. The selectors
Who are you
got it
going to
wrong.
put the mock on this week?
Jack.
Oh, no.
I've got Jack to kick a season high. So 4 is the most he's kicked this season. I've got, and the 4 is the most he's ever kicked against Collingwood.
Yeah.
I'm
he
tipping him
never-
to kick
oh,
4. That's
only
the
ever
most-
kicked
yeah,
4 against the
I'm
Pies.
tipping him to kick more than 4 this week.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Outstanding.
What about you, JB?
Last week I said Ty Vickery would come in and we'd kick 3 goals.
Yeah.
And
How'd you go?
I was right.
No, you said we kick 3 goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, the team.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Oh no, sorry, he. Oh, no, sorry, I got
no.
a cold.
JB with
yeah.
some real crisp
No,
sort of
no,
style
not
stuff
good.
there.
Yeah, I said he'd kick 3 goals.
Right.
But no, that didn't happen.
So what are you doing this week?
This week I'm going for Trent Cotchin to get 30-plus touches and kick 2 goals. Last time out against Collingwood, he copped a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
And I reckon he's going to be fired up this week to have a good impact.
I hope you're right. I really
As
do.
do I. How about you, Richard?
Well, I'm going to go a bit along the lines of what Tone did last week.
Yeah,
I'm
Townsend.
going to predict... No, not Townsend.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to predict that Morey will come in,
Yeah.
Andrew Moore,
Yep.
and I'll say that he will have 10 contested possessions. He's going to crack in
Right.
and have 10 or more contested possessions, Andrew Moore.
All right.
And I've been a pretty good Nick. Who did Manfred go with last week?
Can't remember.
Might have been himself, actually. Yeah, I can't remember.
He's pretty
either.
happy with himself.
So we'll do these next week from Rio, which will be just,
Hey,
Absolutely.
that's going to be huge. To
boys,
what do you mean?
I've got some news for you.
What do you mean you've got some news for us?
I
I don't like
couldn't-
that look
what
on
is
your
it?
face.
Is it an
I
upgrade?
I don't like this.
I couldn't let you down earlier.
Are we going from business to first?
We're not going. It's been
Sorry?
it's been cancelled.
Are you serious?
Yeah, sorry, it's off.
What do you mean it's
I
off?
spoke to Brendan Gale and it's been cancelled.
What do you?
What was that?
Well, I've
You
got to
can't- no, you
prepare.
can't-
I'm sorry, I can't go away now and party in Rio. I've got to prepare for the EJ Whitten Legends game.
Oh, you big-headed ponce!
I've got to
Are
prepare.
you serious?
I'm in training. I can't.
We got
pick
the tickets booked and everything.
No, I can't go. So it's off, boys. Sorry,
Oh.
I'm not going.
Do you reckon Costco do a refund on reef oil?
No.
What about your Vuvuzela? What about your Vuvuzela?
Oh,
What are you going to do with them?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
boys.
got a few
I'm
ideas.
flat as.
No, we're
Okay.
not going.
On
Yeah,
top
wow.
of the weekend that we've had,
Yep.
and that was going
I
to get
know.
us through the next couple of weeks.
2 nights in Canberra
And
now.
because you are so self-centered,
Yeah, I can't.
self-absorbed.
I've got a big job. I'm captain of the team.
Seriously.
I've got to get the boys up. I can't run out there unfit.
Well, you're looking pretty unfit now.
2 weeks in Rio, I'll put on 10 kegs over there.
Oh, jeez.
All
Is
right.
there
Sorry, boys.
is there a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow? Can we? How do we get up? Oh, here we go.
Gee, this should lift us all.
This will really get us up. Wow.
we might have to go to an OB from the shop in Singapore.
Tidbits World.
Yep.
Tone's Tidbits World.
Correct.
Hey, who was saying this segment was pathetic? Who tweeted
It was
you?
Roxman 20.
Roxman.
Ah,
Yeah.
well, just listen to today. I'll take it to new depths of shockingness.
What do you
Such
got
a
for
word.
us?
Well, you mentioned that was our lowest score. I think we've mentioned that.
Yeah,
But-
you have.
So the last time we kicked the lowest score than 3-5, 23, was in round 16,
Was
1961.
that Jack again?
Yeah.
he's a goose,
yeah,
Jack.
blithering imbecile. Round 16, you can play that.
Yeah.
Round 16, 1961 versus St Kilda at the Junction Oval. That day,
Yep.
we kicked no goals, 8 behinds.
Are you serious?
No goals, 8
Was it
behinds.
wet?
It was a perfect day, I think.
Do you reckon
Was
they
it?
had footy classified back then?
I don't think Name a Game has got this on. Hey, you can go and borrow it. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or anything.
So
but,
1961. we didn't kick a goal.
1961.
Is that the only
12 we
time
played
we've
St
ever
Kilda.
not kicked
Yeah,
a goal?
12-19-91 to 0-8-8.
Yeah.
That's the last team
Um,
not to kick a goal? Is that-
Yeah, I think you'll find last team not to kick a goal. Oh, Fitzroy back in 64. I have to check that.
Okay.
Yeah, Fitzroy may not have.
Yeah.
Not sure. But anyway, so not great, that. Anyway. Now, of course, with the now, unfortunately, not being going to the Rio Olympics, which we were so much looking forward to, but this self-absorbed individual has deprived us of that bit of excitement. But
Scones
there is
filthy with
a
it.
Richmond flavour to the Olympics back
Scones going to have to cancel that.
I know. What are you going to do about the
backpackers he had
backpackers?
booked in.
I know. Oh, well, you'll find local ones. Back in the 56 Olympics, Australian football was a demonstration game
Yeah, that's
played
right.
in the 56 Olympics, and 3 Richmond players played
Right.
in what was a combined VFL-VFA side
Right.
against a combined VAFA, which is the Amos.
Right.
The amateurs.
Yeah.
Amos
Who
is
won?
the Amos won.
Oh.
The Amos kicked 12-9-81
They
to
beat a
8-7-55.
VFL team.
VFL-VFA combined team, okay?
The amateurs beat a
The
VFL.
amateurs, are they painted on your ears?
Sometimes.
Right, yeah. Right. The 3 Richmond players in the combined VFL-VFA were Ray Alsop, who was a very good rover, 54 games and 69 goals for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Frank Dunnan, was the ruckman, 31 games for the Tigers, and Vic Naismith, who played full-back. Okay,
Yep.
now Vic Naismith not only played in that team, but Vic Naismith could well have been representing Australia as a javelin thrower at that 56 Olympics. He was in line to represent us, right, but missed qualifying because of a shoulder injury and was ranked in the top 3 for the javelin event in Australia at the time. So have a go at that. What's his name? Anyway, also in that VFA team was Big Gabbo.
Ray Gabelich. Gabbo used to come into the pub I worked
selling
at.
Selling his
pickled onions. He'd come in, he'd sell a box of a bottle of pickled onions, and then he'd have about 15 pots and drive off. Big Gabbo.
Laurie Dwyer was a star for North Melbourne.
Yep.
Dennis Cordner, who was captain, Melbourne star. Brendan Edwards, who was a great player for Hawthorn.
Dr. Cordner.
Diamond Creek.
And on the bench was Lindsay Gaze, father of Andrew, who played VFA football for Prahran.
I didn't know Lindsay Gaze
There
played.
you go.
There you go.
That's
I've learnt
two things
something.
you've learned
There
today.
you go.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I had some stuff on Dusty, but we've gone through
Yeah,
Dusty.
we've gone through
Yeah,
it.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, that was good, the Lindsay Gaze stuff. Well done.
I'm lower than shark droppings at the moment after
Mate, I'm
weekend
sorry.
and now not going to Rio. So we have to. Geez, we want to go right on Friday night. Now, it was the only thing that was going to get us through. But anyway, a mate of mine is a successful author.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote a book about birds. Yeah, it flew off the shelf. Did you hear about the fire at the circus?
No? What happened?
The heat was intense.
Oh, that's good. You are a peanut.
Jokes about unemployed people.
Yeah.
They're not funny. No, they just don't work. Mate of mine went to the supermarket. He went to the supermarket the other night, and he bought a loaf of bread and a banana. And after serving him, the female cashier said, "You must be single." "Yes, I am," he said. "How could you tell?" She replied, "Because you're really ugly."
I don't mind these today. One more?
Oh, a couple more.
Yep.
Why did the biology teacher split up with the physics teacher?
Don't know.
Because there was no chemistry there. Why do the French love eating snails?
Why?
Because they hate fast food.
Righto.
No, one more. One more.
Have you been a doc? You minced his
Oh, they're terrible. Yeah. Did you hear about the new award for successful dieters?
No.
Yeah, it's the No Belly Prize.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Crikey.
Well, on that note, that's it for another edition of Talking Tigers.
Surely someone else could take over.
Hey?
Someone else could take over the captaincy. Surely.
Duck's not
In
happening.
the couple of weeks in the lead-in.
No, sorry, boys, we can't go. I've got to prepare for the EJ Whitten game. Thanks, as always, to all our listeners on Talking Tigers. Yeah, it's been a tough
Come on,
week,
Tigers, lift.
but gee, we'll feel a lot
Come
better
on.
if we beat Collingwood on Friday
Absolutely.
night. Let's hope that happens, and join us again next Tuesday at noon for another edition of Talking Tigers. Thank you.
Happy birthday to your mum, Richard.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday,
happy
Mum.
birthday. Oh, good.